Guys, I am here to recap Thankskilling 3. You see, I watched the first Thankskilling and I loved it. I completely understood why it was a cult classic. I was into it. It was short, why not? So I learned that there was a crowdsource funded third one with no second one that existed. And I was like, all right, that's on point. I'm on board. Why don't I watch Thankskilling 3? The movie's now an hour and 46 minutes. It is so much unnecessary dialogue, so many puppets. And I for sure thought that after watching Thankskilling 3, when I looked up who was involved in this, I was gonna find out that the crowdsourced people bought the rights to Turkey's name and then massacred him. But no, the same director, writers. What? We learned at the end in the credits, there was a puppet school involved. It's a lot of puppets. So many puppets. They completely lose the essence of Thankskilling. How do we go from college kids in the woods to a Tim Burton mashup with Jeff Dunham? I mean, and honestly, I gotta give Jeff Dunham credit. His writing's way more clever. The amount of worm puns, there's a worm.
Yeah.
We haven't even gotten there. And this is how livid I am. This movie, crowdsource something else. Anything. And it starts out promising. It does. I'm not gonna lie. We start with tits in space. That is the opening scene. And the spacesuit makes no sense because it is a spacesuit except for right here. Her mask is open. That's what you see. It's very necrophilic. And then we get to bad pie puns. We get a pilot.
Pilot, sir. First name's Pie, last name's Let.
Pumpkin?
You betcha.
Yeah, the puns don't get any better than that at all. Oh, okay. Fake trailer for Thankskilling 2. Like, all right, okay. I'm here. I'm following. Let's see what they do with this. And then we have a Mad Max world, like the Earth world. Guys in like full hazmat suits that burn all of the DVDs but one. That they just put in a trash bag? You went to so much trouble in this weird apocalyptic human world, we think, to burn all the DVDs, but just like one ends up in the trash? Bad job, hazmat dudes. Now, we are on set of a turkey sitcom. What about the curse? The curse. The turkey that's possessed because of the Native American curse that comes back every 500 years to slaughter all the people. Now he's sitting on a couch with a party hat on. He's now wearing clothes. Doesn't wear clothes to kill, but he's now in like boxers and a wife beater. Watching Bird TV commercials. So you're like, okay, Bird World, there's a bad laugh track like Friends. And his wife comes in and there's a cake and it's his birthday and he's like 514, right? So you're like, okay, curse. Every 500 years. This guy's got like 86 more to go before he gets to go murder again? No wonder he hates his life so much. This guy's a possessed turkey and he's not getting to kill. What we don't know though, what we don't realize is that his wife knows that the movie has been canceled. Thankskilling 2 is no more. It's the worst movie ever made. It's not. This one probably takes the cake. If any DVD should have been burned. Anyway, come to find out, he's watching Bird News, and all of a sudden there's a human commercial for the Pluckmaster 3000.
Uncle Donnie here, and this Thanksgiving, I'm here to simplify your life.
Seems like a pretty insensitive commercial in this so far led to believe puppet bird world. Also, the possessed turkey has a child.
Hi, I'm sorry, Dad.
He finds out his movie has been canceled, and he's like, rah, the rage of an abusive male. Ah! His wife's like, oh no, I didn't want you to find out on your birthday.
On your birthday.
And he's like, rah! And she's like, and it was the first movie filmed all in space. Guess what he does? In typical husband fashion, he chops her right down the middle. Our first kill of the movie is a puppet kill. And he's traumatized his poor little child that doesn't want to be evil. And he's like, if you want to live, you're going to be evil. And he's like, yeah, Dad, I'll be evil. Gobble, gobble.
Evil? I can be evil.
Would you think that the turkey's going to go on some sort of rampage after the people that canceled the movie, the production company maybe? Maybe there's something. No. We are now introduced to a naked puppet in a field. Yeah. They don't even bury the lead. They let you know that this Sesame Street reject is the hero of the story.
Stands a hero.
So you're like, there's no way this movie's an hour and 46 minutes. It is, which is crazy because it's like the writers forgot you're supposed to have more than a rough draft. Like Thankskilling, they edited down too much, and then they're like, with Thankskilling 3, no edits. If you said it, it's in the movie.
Oh, I'm sorry I had to find out like this.
It's essentially everything bad about a high school play and an improv class coming together as one. We now have a puppet in a field who's lost her mind. We know that because they tell us, and then they show you her mind, which looks like a floating uterus.
Don't be afraid.
The arms are fallopian tubes. Yomi, our hero puppet without a brain, it's now Wizard of Oz a little bit. She is now in a dumpster. And there's a trash puppet.
Well, it's me, Greg.
That gives her the last copy of Thankskilling 2. Again, I am convinced the Puppet School are the fans that crowdsourced this movie. Because it is more puppets than people. And she's like, guess I'll put this in my backpack, which turns out to be a cat cartoon that sings with his friends, and it is very sexual. It is very sexually suggestive. I'm not gonna sing the song. I will not sing the song.
Sing us a song, Whisker Biscuits, get our hearts pumping and our knees flapping.
I think this shirt says just the tips or just the nips or something, and there's a joke in there that I think was pretty good, but it was a naughty one, right? We get through that song, which is not needed. It turns into a very uncomfortable Dora episode real fast. And then we find out that Donnie is real. It's just a washed up salesman. Terrible pilgrim outfit, decent George Washington. We know this because as Puppet Girl's like, in the dumpster, we see like faded billboards multiple times in Graffiti Alley. So now we're gonna cut to introducing more characters. Do you wanna guess how many are human? 1. This is a movie of puppets. Bad puppets. I love Muppet Treasure Island. And I love Muppet Christmas Carol. I do not love A Muppet's Killing 3, which is what this should have been named. We are introduced to Jefferson,
I warned you, Mother. No technology at the dinner table or you get the long pike.
who is personally my favorite character. And he is there with the creepiest stuff made of nightmares in a wheelchair that also raps
Sitting on 13's wheelchair, hella clean. I used to knit and sew, but now I'm off that BET.
and sniffs her fingers. If you remember, if you have not seen the video from Thankskilling, go watch it because we've got a nerdy guy that goes a lot like a creeper. And in this one, a puppet grandma that does this. I hope you can't see my hand because it's naughty. And then she goes,
Discuss the logistics of this.
why? We did not need her. We could have just had Jefferson there. He was doing fine on his own. You know what? He is the head of security of Thanksgiving Land.
I know these types. This little bitch be in and out of jail all her life.
What is Thanksgiving Land? You may ask. It is something mentioned in 7.5 minutes of the movie and then never again. Not once. But apparently, it's Uncle Donnie's true dream.
At Thanksgiving Land, there will be no handicap accessibility.
Oh, I forgot to introduce the worm and the robot.
Giddy up now, muff.
More puppets. Actually, honestly, that robot guy might be a guy in a suit, but then at one point, they puppeteer legs that are not legs.
Hello, Doc, I think you'd call it here on Earth. Anyway, he admitted every day while acting he was sliding subtle bits of curse into his...
And you're like, what is going on? Which is honestly what I said so many times throughout this movie, along with another puppet. There is a worm, Rhonda, who is a male worm based off the mustache and the implications in the beginning. He's a very sexual, punny worm, terrible puns, that just wants to do naughty things with everyone. And he's got this robot named Muff. I know what popped into my brain because of how naughty this worm was. But like, what does it stand for? Your guess is as good as mine because we never learn. If you know more about the puppet school that made all these, please tell me in the comments below. I have not only wasted an hour and 46 minutes of my life, but recapping it is also way too much. So you guys need to tell me more of the facts about this movie. I cannot go down that rabbit hole any deeper. As much as I am sidetracked in this recap, it is nothing like the horrible, useless dialogue stuffed into this movie.
Reaching. 1 second.
At this point, we've got a grandma puppet, a puppet. We've been introduced to a robot and a worm puppet. We've got Thanksgiving Land, Donnie's ultimate dream. Oh, and the voice. Jefferson's like, do the voice. And he's like, I don't want to do it. He's like, no, do the voice. He's like, no, do the voice. He goes,
To Thanksgiving Land!
he did not have to do the voice. We learn that Jefferson does not like puppets. So he decides Yomi is touching too much stuff. After this voice, he goes with his long pike. Well, he's waiting on the real one to come from Amazon because he has a butter knife scotch taped to a stick.
Reaching.
To a stick. At a certain point, this movie feels like a high school play where everybody wanted to be the lead and the director didn't know how to say no. They added another puppet. A talking cockroach on a string.
Roaching, roach. Oh.
There are so many different puppets and voices in this movie. I started to wonder if part of the benefit of crowdsourcing it was you got to be in it in some small way, even as a cockroach voice. Now, you might be wondering what's happened to the murderous turkey this is supposed to be about. I also was wondering that at this point in the film. Don't worry, he's on the Seagull taxi from the ad at the beginning that when he was watching TV and we didn't know if it was a sitcom or just like a sad turkey world, he had to wait until he could murder again. Remember, he chopped his turkey wife in half. So he now has his scared little baby on a stick behind him on the Seagull taxi. What is the fare? He has no pockets. He does make a lot of booty jokes, so maybe his wallet's there. Prison wallet. We just know that he's like, yo, I want this DVD. It's the last copy. Baby Bird's like, I'm trying to be evil for you, Dad, because I love you. And then guess what? Turkey's like, nah, my child's too childy or whatever. So he yeets him off the Seagull. Yeah. And he's like, tweet, tweet, I can fly. No, he cannot.
I'm flying! No, I'm flying!
Splat. Death number 2. Also a puppet. If you're keeping track, that means in Thankskilling 3, we are 40 minutes into the movie. We have 2 killings and they're puppets. I cannot stress that enough. Is the baby turkey dead? No, because then that means someone that crowdsourced the movie was out of a job for another 37 minutes. Can't have that? No. Baby turkey turns into ghosty particles. Where does he go? Remember, they're after Thankskilling 2. The baby spirit shows up to Donnie's house. And we're not sure, it's gotta be Donnie's house. We've got the Pluck Master 1 there, another character. That's, you guessed it, a puppet! It's a giant machine puppet. It's the Pluck Master 1. Now, you might think we can get to the killing part, right? Maybe. No. We've got the Pluck Master 1 turned on. and talking. We've got Jefferson,
We think we can still make it work.
a puppet grandma, still
The logistics.
being naughty. We've got a girl puppet, Yomi, who's lost her mind.
Well, I lost my mind.
We've got Turkey, who killed his son that became particles and possessed the Thankskilling 2 DVD in Yomi's backpack. Dad! All going on simultaneously, as now we need to get another backstory because Donnie is staring off in the distance. We're waiting for a single tear to run down his face because guess what? Turns out he had a family. And the Pluckmaster 1 needed like an egregious amount of turkeys. And so the Pluckmaster 1 was also outside, even though it was inside now. Wolves ate his family because of the Pluckmaster 1 that talks, I guess. And you're probably like, maybe some killing, right? It's in the title. Yes, finally, Jefferson, he thinks his long pike has finally been delivered by Amazon.
Oh, that might be my long pike.
And then he opens the door, but guess what? Everyone else behind him is like, no long pike. It's the evil turkey. Finally, we're like, yes. Are we gonna get more? Because remember, that was pretty good last time. We had eyes spiked out. We had some throat slits. We had right. We've got standards because of Thankskilling 1. I can't even believe I'm saying that, but we do. We had some standards on these kills. I built the expectation too high, which meant I could only be let down. Jefferson turns and like faces the camera like all weird cutscene, and it's just like body parts that hit the ground.
Thanksgiving just got fucked.
Not gory and bloody. You don't see the kill. You don't see him slashed. Also, by the way, the turkey's not standing behind the collapsed, chopped up body. He pops up a few seconds later and makes a schnozberry reference in how you're supposed to like refrigerate leftovers. So we now have 2 puppet kills and 1 human kill. Okay. So you would think, oh my gosh, great fight scene coming up. But what I forgot to tell you is this movie is also secretly just an ad for one of the people that crowdsourced this movie who is also trying to become a DJ. Not just any DJ, but a dubstep DJ. That is how our movie starts. We've got multiple scenes introduced with dubstep, but this fight scene, you think maybe, finally. No. We get more dubstep. This whole movie is a secret ad for DJ Wannabe. Terrible dubstep. Not terrible, honestly. It's like pretty vibey for the 2012 or whatever. She's in a drug trance, like nobody dies. Turkey gets sucked up. I think he gets yeeted or something, Turkey, into the Pluckmaster 1, and he gets and then spit out. And he's now outside in the turkey graveyard. So we think Turkey's dead, but is he? No, because the curse. But wait, I don't need to tell you that because Muff, the robot, and Rhonda, the overly sexual worm, show back up to let you know Turkey might be dead, but the curse is not dead. Do we need a teepee and fire and a backwards math prayer this time? No, because guess what? Apparently, the curse is now in Thankskilling 2, and anyone who watches it will die. But remember, there's only 1 copy left that is now possessed by his son that he didn't want. Turkey skeleton uprising and more dubstep. More rave madness. Step up to the beaks. He's now like zombie turkey with the skeleton turkeys, and they're trying to murder everyone. Turkey's able to steal his DVD possessed baby and run into a fireplace, but not before he tries to murder the puppet girl. Yeah, Yomi. At some point in all of this nonsense, there's a wise turkey. You shall not pass the gravy? Like, come on! That our hero Yomi was handed a wishbone at one point. We forgot about it because it doesn't come back until the last 10 minutes of the movie. Just to recap the recap, we have a dead Jefferson, the only human kill, 2 dubstep fights, a skeleton turkey army. I forgot to mention, when he comes back to life, he doesn't have his wee-wee to go do the naughty things. So he finds a garden chainsaw and attaches it. Which is, I'm sure, stolen from some other movie that can flash up right here later. You want to know the next kill? Another puppet. Jefferson is back. And he's inviting his mom into heaven.
Hey, Mom. I got my long pike. Cool, right?
Not only are you making me sit through this puppeteer class's final projects, but the writing's bad. What is going to happen next? We've got a dead puppet, but remember, they told us in the first 5 minutes she's the hero. We're now an hour and 20 minutes in with no real climax. Oh, just in case you were wondering, the cockroach comes back but makes cricket noises. I thought it was letting us know how terrible the movie was. Nope, they just wanted to throw in a cricket puppet. Donnie, our guy, clearly needs to give the puppet the fist of life. And he does. They are now forever trauma bonded. Go talk to your therapist about that one tomorrow, Donnie.
Oh, hey guys.
So the puppet's back to life, and we need Muff's butt vortex. The robot lays down and puts his butts up, okay? Because we know the curse is in the DVD, so what do we gotta do? Send it back into space. How do we do it? Butt vortex. Why is it a butt vortex? Because Muff is an older model. During unnecessary dialogue, guess what they don't do? They don't put the baby DVD into the butt vortex. So then Turkey stabbies, the puppet takes his DVD baby into the fireplace. Even recapping it, you get lost. It's that bad, guys. And I went in so hopeful, wanting to love it. And if you think I'm being too harsh, please feel free to let me know in the comments, because we are all allowed to rabble. We're not at the end of the movie yet, though. We are so close. We're so close. Puppet Girl comes back to life. Remember the fist, okay? And her and Worm Guy decide to dress themselves up as a terribly disguised turkey. They go into the fireplace. Distractions.
Boiling puddle of mashed potatoes you're walking through. Huh. Up ahead, Yomi, by those cranberry crystals.
Worm has a weird fantasy of putting his tail in the puppet girl's mouth.
Yeah, baby.
Drax, Turkey, unplugs DVD baby, but not before he gets plugged in and successfully uploaded. And 5 people die, like blah, 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 grotesque ways. At one point, their skeleton turkeys pecking, blah, 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 blah. More pecking, so much pecking. We have no idea who watched it. There's no devices. We don't understand how the curse is killing them, but they are dying. 5 people. Yomi goes, no, yoink, I'm gonna get out of here. Her and Wormy go back through. Blah, blah, blah. And guess what? The worm gets chopped in half, and you're like, finally! He's dead. We're so happy about it. And Muff is like, oh no. And then he blows his own head off. Count how many puppet compared to human deaths. And the length of the buildup of the character's story before the kill. There's just 5 random kills of humans. All these puppets who you're not invested in. You're not, because their dialogue is terrible. So now you must be thinking, we gotta be so close to the big ending. They still need the butt vortex. See, Turkey hasn't quite come back yet. I can't even remember if the curse is broken or not, because at this point, I just wanted the movie to be over. And it's still going. Because the butt vortex and Yomi going, I need to sacrifice myself, because the writers learned one thing about the hero's journey. Yeah, we all watched that same YouTube video in English 1010, my guy. Come on. So Yomi's like, I must do this thing and sacrifice. My whole life is in the vortex. What's her whole life? Trash puppet, using her uterus brain, and the gay singing cat. That is a direct quote. He says, I'm a gay cat. My rage is all about the bad dialogue. You could have done better by that cat. Give him some depth. So we're like, yes, she's gonna go into the vortex. The turkey, they try to chop him up, right? And he's like fighting with Yomi, and his little beak grabs her foot, and he's like, nice fall. She doesn't trip, by the way, because she's a puppet, and the sticks don't go that far or something. We don't know. And he's like, I'm just a floating head, and I'm gonna torment you forever. And then the baby goes, Dad, I learned what a pun is. I also waited that long to hear when the baby was going to give us a pun. He did not. He did not. But his dad's head goes floating off into space. And he's like, I just don't want to be like you. Yeah, we know. Nobody wants to be like their father. It's 2025. We're ready for Puppet Girl to sacrifice herself into the vortex with the baby. The only graphic they spent money on, you probably forgot that I mentioned that, is this vortex that they leave so long. This butt vortex. I don't know if you forgot, but there's a butt vortex. And they slow motion the release of the puppet to the human hand. And it's not until this part, the bad George Washington wig with all the bobby pins, finally comes off. And we're like, yes, the movie's gotta be done. It's gotta be done. 7 minutes of slow motion later, she goes into the vortex. Guess who's not dead? The worm. Rhonda. The mustache, the googly eyes. Oh, and at one point for a solid 3 seconds, he turns into a hot dog.
What do you say, you big fat...
There's more dialogue with George Washington and the worm. And you think, finally, roll credits. And it does. And you go, yes, the movie is over. There's no way there is an end credit for this movie. They bring Naughty Grandma back for one more rap. Also, there's a song just about being sad in there at the end. All I know is the next time Tim Burton, Jeff Dunham, and a high school musical theater teacher want to write a movie, don't let them. I'm going to pretend that Thankskilling 3 did not massacre the cult classic beauty that is Thankskilling. But please, comment below if you've seen it, how you feel, and then tune in next time for the Sara Mac recap. Thank you guys.